Okay, today we're playing Wargame 2v2 match on Hell's Highway, 4,000 points. Hopefully, if you're new to the game, maybe we can help you out a little bit. We're not very great, but we see a lot of people a lot worse than us, so. Basic setup for this is we're going to want a fair bit of infantry to hold these force. I'm going to go for the Jaegers just because they come in the fastest transport. Pretty solid choice there. We're going to throw down an Air Scout Gazelle. Basically the AH-1 is one of the cheapest options with very good, exceptional optics, and it's fast. Kiowa Warrior's another good one. It's got Hellfire, but it's a little slower and it's more expensive. Because I think we might get air cheese, we're going to go for a couple triple vet chaparrals and put some hem trucks near them. So we've got our FOB to refuel helicopters. I've got 4 heavy hogs, which are cheap as hell. Now we just need some tanks to hold the line. And we got a couple options. We're going to want some main battle tanks because if they throw a pile of cheapies at us, that's what we want. If they throw other main battle tanks at us, then we're going to need to, fight fire with fire. So 2 options here really. We got the Abrams A1 and the Leopard 2 A4. Leopard 2 gives us a little more speed, which is probably what we want. But we've also got much better side armor and coaxial machine gun on the Abrams. So we're going to go with the Abrams for this one just because they only really need to have a 10-degree exposed shot to your side for it to count against your side armor, which would really ding up the Leopard. And that's pretty easy to get once you get fighting up in the Echo Delta area. We've also got 4 fuel trucks because Abrams suck up fuel way faster than Leopards, so really if you can afford to run Leopards, it's more or less the better option. So we don't have many points left. For this setup, I'm going to go for Echo here, and a lot of the main fighting goes between Echo and Bravo, so my ally's going to take Delta and probably move between Delta Bravo, and then we'll put pressure on that. And we'll have Foxtrot as a reinforced point. So that, I think we're pretty much ready. I don't think there's too much else we need. I'm going to buy a couple of these Zippo trucks here in case they rush infantry, because the flamethrower really messes them up. So one thing we got to watch out for on this map, it gets pretty heavily artied just because it's a fairly dense concentration. So we want to make sure we split our units fairly well. It's actually generally a bad idea to throw main battle tanks in one group. It'd probably be smart to split them when we get up there because you can't bind units to control groups in your starting point, and we just want to get them all out of there as fast as we can.
Hey, over. You've got something for me? We're on the move. My staff and myself are ready, sir.
One of the big things you got to be careful about is your command vehicles getting too far ahead of your army, which can be pretty dangerous. A lot of people lose their command trucks out. And these heavy hogs aren't as fast as some, like an AH-1S Cobra, which is also a good option for throwing a lot of stun. So we're going to try and get them off the line really quick.
Ready to go. Waiting for your orders, sir. Just waiting for a target to fly by. And then, what's up, sir?
Now my command trucks are getting ahead of the scout helicopter, which isn't good. But they're going to be probably about right here right now, so we're in pretty good shape.
Where do you need us, sir? Brace yourself, we're flying in.
So the big thing we got to watch out for is long-range anti-air. That's going to knock our scout out of the air pretty quick. We should be able to spot it before they can get a good shot, though. Also, keep an eye on the map to make sure we don't see any actual air coming out. And they're bringing in a couple Mi-24A. Probably to try and snipe our command vehicles, just like I mentioned. So we're going to pull this back and hide him in the wood. Wait for the chaparral to get up, because that's dangerous to lose a VAB really early on. And Mi-24A carries a missile, but it's very inactive. Fortunately, the problem with the chaparral is it's extremely slow. It's got very good range and extremely good fire rate. It only carries 4 missiles, unlike the Martyr Land, but those missiles can all fire without a reload. So it looks like they're not going for heavy arty, but they are throwing a lot of rockets at it. And our supply trucks are kind of in it. We're going to keep moving up. We are in range. Chaparrals have a 4,200 meter range, so we should be able to pop off all those guys. These are 3 vet chaps. They've got pretty good accuracy. And one Mi-24A is down. Second Mi-24A is not down. And chaparrals are empty. That's the problem. So we're going to drive the TPZ right under it, and they're going to machine gun it out of the air. So it looks like we got them. They got some T-80As up. That's something we got to watch out for, but they're not really the really good version. We're going to bring our heavy hogs up here and try and get a stun on them. Position our infantry for a flank. So right now we're starting to lose some TPZ. They're moving their tanks in awful fast, which isn't that good of an idea because we can just dive on them with these infantry, and infantry will shred tank. There we go, we're going to bring up the hogs, and we're going to stun these guys. Morale is a huge factor in this game, so if you're winning in the morale fight, you can really just win the regular fight. Stunning units makes them unable to respond, and putting them in panic state means they just don't fight nearly as effectively. These guys won't shoot half as fast. Meanwhile, these Jaegers will probably be able to kill all these tanks. We'll just keep the heavy hogs on them. They've got the grenade launchers and the rocket. And the Abrams are shelling them from afar. So they do have a buck that's in range of our helicopter, but honestly the heavy hogs are so cheap, it doesn't even matter. These guys are now stunned just because of all the air fire. It looks like we're getting hit pretty hard on Delta here. I'm going to back these heavy hogs off just so the bucks don't kill them. And we're going to try and help our ally over here in Delta because he's looking at a lot of tanks, and that's what we really want to stun with some tanks, some air. If these Tunguskas come over the hill, we can pop a shot at them with the air. Otherwise we're going to climb and try and get them because they're going to be in trouble for our own. Abrams are coming over the hill. We got a range shot. These guys are in trouble. Looks like we lost 2 hogs. But we're killing all their Tunguska. So now we're going to try and back the Abrams off. And they should hold their direction, which is important. You got to make sure you manage your armor facings. Otherwise, you end up in a bad spot. So I'm going to bring in some artillery here. That's actually going to solve our problem a little bit. Artillery, the NATO mortar is a really good option because it's very cheap. And my buddy's bringing up the Challengers right here. Challengers will be great against these guys. I'm bringing up my Abrams. We'll just fight. Heavy hogs will just spam grenades. Grenades will panic these guys really quick and stun them. They fire wicked fast. It's just really effective for a 35-point helicopter. Now I'm going to take the scout helicopter over this so they can't hide in the woods as well as they. Looks like they still got a Tunguska out. So our mortar carriers have made it. We're starting to fire. And I kind of just lost my scout helicopter like an idiot. One thing that would have been smart to do, that I didn't do before, was actually get the Vav and Echo so we had all that money we were fighting for. The thing we're also going to do is back these Abrams off, because one of them's really damaged. Bring the hemp truck over here so it can help these guys. Okay. Now, since the patch, they've made repairs an awful lot slower. So you can't rely on just repair trucks and keeping your units in the fight. You've got to take them out. So we're going to have to bring in another scout here. I'm going to bring in a Luche I because it's less vulnerable to that anti-air. And they're probably going to have a lot because they were kind of hurting from those hogs. So we're gonna try and make a run on Bravo here. I'm gonna move the tanks over to support. And we're gonna use these TPZs, which are the fastest infantry carrier short of a helicopter. And we're gonna go in with them.
What are your orders, sir? Ready to move, sir.
Alright, we kind of want to wait for the scout, but at this point, time's of the essence, so we're just going to push it with these TPZs.
Air defense ready. Just give us some coordinates, sir. Bring in the big guns, sir. Ready to move, sir.
Pretty much, fast infantry carriers, if you can't take them out quick enough, they will mess up your tanks really quick. They're cheap. A squad of Jaegers and a TPZ is 20 points.
Yes, sir.
Most tanks will cost more than that, especially if it's any kind of decent tank. Those 72Bs are 120 a pop, which is ridiculous. So they're killing a fair bit of their infantry carriers. We kind of expect. They're basically just trying to get us in range so we can pop these 62Bs with the Jaeger. Looks like they're firing missiles at us, but 72Bs have lousy Jaegers. And they actually brought in a supply helicopter, which is an easy 130 points.
Yes, sir.
So now their 72Bs are side on because they're trying to fight our infantry, which is bad for them, good for us. We've got our 4 infantry carriers over here. They'll quickly clean up these tanks. There's 120 points, 120 points. We'll get ready to fire again, no problem. We can use our tanks to knock out the bot. I'm going to keep our Lush on this Mi-26. Maybe we can capture it or take it out. So pretty simply, we cleared out Bravo with not that many infantry units. They had tanks and no screening force, which is kind of a critical problem there. They're still holding Bravo though, so we know that they've got a command truck in here somewhere.
Has an enemy chopper been spotted?
And we've got the Chaparrals in range of this Mi-26, so we're going to try and knock him out. And we got him, 125 free point. Looks like they've moved out of Bravo. Either that or we got their truck.
Okay.
Now we've got their truck.
What are your orders, sir? Let's rock and roll.
So at this point, I mean, we're way far in the lead, 3,400 points out of a 4,000 point game to their 1,265. We're just going to make a run on their base. Kind of sloppy. We'll keep the scout out front. We don't really have much to screen our tanks though. Typically, if you actually can't afford to lose units, you want to keep them away from these forests unless you're sure they're scouted, because infantry in them will absolutely do an